Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bunk and Pick podcast. Pick here with Bunk. Say a little behind the curtains. We already did this intro and did not record it. So,
I get a better shot at it.
Bunk's got a better shot at his opening line.
Hey, here we go. Buonasera e benvenuti allo spettacolo.
It's just
Good evening and welcome to the show, everyone.
Oh, you threw some Italian at us today.
I'm slinging it. I'm slinging it, baby.
It was just as bad.
Oh, come on now.
I'm glad this one's recorded, though.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I kind of messed that one up. Sorry about that.
Well, welcome in, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. We do have a guest in house.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh, yeah. That's the energy we're looking for on those damn
bring
Eagles.
It in. I had to bring Boomer in. I had to.
Didn't have to.
That is true. You did have to.
Well, okay. Let's be honest.
This whole podcast has become an Eagles smear cast, and I just can't stand that anymore.
Boomer heard the last podcast and immediately sent a text message that said, "If you don't have anyone booked, I'm on the next podcast."
Oh my God.
So he has some words for you, Bunk.
I just saw the writing on the wall, and I before we get started, I need to ask you, Bunk, how bad do you think the Chiefs are going to beat the Eagles?
Oh, it's like they don't beat anybody too bad, but it's going to be a one score. Yeah,
I mean, that's fine with me as long as you say the Eagles are going to lose. They end up winning, so I just we need to keep that energy going.
Before we get too far, come on now. Don't jump right into football.
God, I know he crushes.
We got to do our pleasantries.
He's kind of anxious there,
Jason.
There is no pleasantries leading up to the Super Bowl, Nick. You should know this about us Eagles. We are calm, rational
Eagles
people.
Fan. Did they already Crisco all the polls there in Philadelphia?
No, but they're making a lot of jokes about it right now.
Hey, Crisco,
just make sure there's no police horses to eat the turds of as you're going around.
There's a lot of fiber in there.
Yeah, Jason comes on and he likes, as we say in Italy, he likes to palline che rotolano, roll balls. Do what now? Say that again, Pick. We lost you.
You have multiple sayings on us over there?
As long as I got Google, I can say whatever I want in Italian.
Oh, boy.
I can roll with anything, brother.
Yeah,
He's got the words, but it's probably butchering the grammar.
Hey, before we get to the sport, can we talk about how Bunk kind of put some moves on Pick yesterday?
All right. Do we really have to talk about this?
Yes,
I think we do. I think we need to talk about this.
All right. Do you want to tell the story, or do you want me to there, Bunk?
Well, I don't know, because I'm not sure how you're going to tell it. I could probably tell it better, because you're going to just
I feel like we should get both sides of this.
I
feel like we should.
I think we should
hear Nick's side, and then we should hear the real
side.
All right.
So the victors go the spoils. I'll give Bunk the first one.
Well, we had medium G. It was cold out. We had a little football. And Pick said he could cover me on a little out pass.
I could cover you.
He said he could cover me on an out pass. Me and Medium G made up a nice play. Ran out, juked left, cut right quickly, very quickly, very, very quickly. Ball went right in my hands, crushed his face.
No.
Game over.
That's
Touchdown.
not how it happened.
So I have a quick question on this.
No.
Now, Nick,
you didn't get my side yet.
Well, hold up before we get to your side. So the story was that you told your dad that you could beat him on an out route.
No,
and then you got juked, knowing he's running an out. You got juked on the post.
He got juked.
Oh,
juked.
Nick. All right, your turn. Go ahead.
My loving father is 63 years old.
And juked him out of his drawers.
Right? I had the immediate thought to jam him at the line, but I worried that I was going to knock him over.
Oh,
so I let him come
that's
off.
Such bullshit. That is such bullshit.
I was quiet while you told your story. Let me tell mine.
God.
Okay.
Holy crap,
I was going to knock over my wonderful father.
God.
So I backed off a bit, and he did take a step to the left, which I didn't follow.
A step? Okay.
Yes, but Big G, or Medium G, I'm sorry, put the ball uncatchable for me. I had great coverage. My hand was in there. I gotta give it to you. You had good hands. You caught it.
I'm gonna call. You know what I'm calling?
Juke anything.
I'm calling Strozante on that bullshit in Italian.
Strozante.
And
hey, Strozante, we got video evidence. We
do.
You didn't juke anyone.
You were juked, friend.
You didn't juke
You
anyone.
were juked. Your drawers were down on your knees, juked. They were in the ankles.
All right, Jason, who are you going to believe more?
I'm going with Bunk on this one, man.
Got to.
Get out of here.
Got
How
video.
Are you gonna side with the guy
I'm pretty sure you just got lost. I think that's the term for it nowadays.
You gave oh man.
I pushed him off. Jason, the truth of it is I went out, I juked left and I physicaled him out. I pushed him, got him out of my way and went right, and it was just all over. It was over.
Oh, so it was pass interference.
It wasn't. Sure. It was like a normal
pushed out of his way, right?
Oh,
you heard
pass interference on the offense.
All right,
no. Bunk plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Here we go. Here we go. Stronzate. I don't even know how you say it. I think that's how you say bullshit.
Okay, all right.
All right. It was fun anyway.
It was fun. Also, we are hot garbage at shooting a basketball.
Good God. None of us could make a friggin' I don't think any of us actually made one. We took a lot of shots and didn't make one.
None of the kids made it. None of the adults made it. We gave up and then started running routes.
To be fair, we were shooting from the 3-point line. Okay?
Yeah, I think around the holidays, it's very nice of you guys to build some brick houses for the homeless.
It was a lot. We're past the holidays, so these are just absent breaks.
Around, within a month.
Oh, man. Brutal.
All right. Well, welcome in, everyone. That was our fun story to start the day off. Bunk.
Yes, sir.
I do have a question for you.
All right.
Actually, no. I got a question for Boomer this time. It's a food question that I posed to you. I forgot I asked you this last time.
Okay.
But I gotta ask Jason this, right? Jason, is there a difference between the food you have during the Super Bowl and the food you have during the national championship game for college football?
Maybe. I mean, generally, I'd like to have wings or something. But I mean, around the holidays, like often, like we'll have like some leftover Hoppin' John or some sort of like New Year's stew that I'll, kind of dabble in that. So it's kind of hard for me to really decide.
Saying you're going to make a New Year's stew for the college football game?
No, it's just leftovers, and I'm lazy.
What's a Hoppin' John, by the way?
It's black-eyed peas.
Bunk, come on, man.
I've never heard of a freaking Hoppin' John.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
Oh. God, okay. Sounds like Johnny, break my back kind of thing.
I don't know if Boomer knows what Johnny break my back is.
I don't think he does.
I have no idea.
That's okay.
All right.
I never heard of Hoppin' John.
Was that Johnny Dollar's?
I wish.
No. Papa Joe, rest his soul, used to play a game when they were younger where they'd have somebody hold the telephone pole and bend over and hold the telephone pole, and everybody else would run as fast as they can and jump on their back to try and make them collapse. That was the game they played.
How many splinters would you get in your arms hugging that telephone
I don't think
pole?
they cared.
No, they played.
Jesus.
They played. What was the name of the? They called it stickball, but it was an actual stick that they sharpened.
They threw sticks at it.
They sharpened both ends of a stick, and that was the baseball. To get people out, had the stick in them.
Good old 40s. Good old 40s. 1940s. They were a great time to be alive.
That made us shooting bottle rockets at each other seem like child's play.
That is child's play.
Good Lord.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's crazy. That's where we learned it all. All right. Well, without further ado, I think there's some heated debate about to come up about the NFL, and I don't want to stand in the way of you two. I will say, Bunk, we were both incredibly wrong about that Eagles game.
I will say I'm going to give it to you, Jason. They kicked their ass, but it's hard to watch, man. Hard to watch.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
And what's up with Saquon now doing dances in the end zone? That's not him.
He's loving life now. Like he was miserable before. Now he's actually happy.
No, it's not him.
Can you blame the guy?
Best thing I heard from that game, Saquon invited Daniel Jones to his luxury box for the game.
Hey, he's actually really good friends with Daniel Jones.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was at the game.
Oh, God. All right.
He's unemployed, down on the times.
I will say they absolutely friggin' crushed him. The turnover, you could tell early with the turnovers in the game, it was going to be And then
I could tell on the Eagles' first play from scrimmage.
Well, yeah, he ran 60 yards. It looked good, though. You got to admit. So, Jason, you got to admit the first drive the Commanders had took a lot of time off the clock. They drove it really well down there, and they had some momentum.
Sure.
And unfortunately, one play on the Eagles side basically crushed
here's
that.
the biggest difference between how the Eagles played and the Lions played, because the I almost called them, almost got y'all canceled. The Commanders, they are an extremely talented team. They are, they have a very bright future ahead of them. But I gotta say, I'm just glad it's not the Cowboys, man. I've loved life this year, just watching the Cowboys struggle and then them going out and getting a guy that's never been a head coach before, I believe. So that's great. But no, so what happened in that game, if you compare that to the Lions game, is the Lions and Ben Johnson is one of those guys that's kind of too smart for his own good. Great coach, but the Commanders have a bottom 3 rush defense. And they decided they wanted to keep trying to throw the ball against them, even though Gibbs was averaging over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at what the Eagles did. Hell, they put Will Shipley in, and Shipley broke off 70 yards against them. So
that game, I would say the game was it was well
Sure.
over, well in hand by then, obviously. And they ran the score up as typical Eagles do. What can I say?
because they're an early game team, right, Bunk?
They yeah, it did pay me. I'm gonna so I will be honest. I actually shut the game off and switched over to the pregame for the next game because I was tired of watching them score and doing all their crap. And then I saw how they celebrated. It was awesome with fires and shit. And it was awesome. Good stuff going on.
Yeah, I saw videos. They were climbing on top of the Ritz-Carlton there, and the little.
What is with Philadelphia fans? Why are they so rabid? It's crazy.
We are calm and rational people, man.
Oh my God! And they act like they act like it was an upset for them to win. Come on now, you knew as well as I did they were going to win. Even though I talked shit to you, I did not think the Commanders were going to win. I had a little hope there on the first drive. It was quickly dashed.
I was getting frustrated every time they completed one of those 4th down plays. I was like, "Oh, come on, we cannot let this keep happening." What I was confused of though is they, convert 3 4th downs on that first drive, and then they get 4th and 2 on the 20, and they decide to kick a field goal. I thought they were going to keep trying to. I don't get that.
You know what though? You run out of room when you get down that far. Plays are different plays, and I thought it was. Honestly, I thought that was the right call down there, but and it just took one play to literally wipe that out, and it was over.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it was God dang. Barkley's going to run the ball. What the hell, man?
But did y'all expect? I mean, I know the whole, and I have some complaints about a lot of the talking heads, because you look at Jalen Hurts' stats for the playoffs in general. The first week of the playoffs, he was just coming off injury. Second week, they were playing in, pretty much a snowball. And they're talking trash about his stats, but then you have, Josh Allen getting similar stats to Hurts. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's managed that game great, but Hurts, he's a detriment to the team.
Well, they do that. They do that all the time. You can look at Mahomes this year was not the best quarterback.
For sure.
His numbers lined up with someone on the bottom half, but they kept winning.
I feel that, but and then you see Hurts comes out in this game 20 for 28, 110 point something passer rating, couple touchdowns, one passing touchdown, like 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. Like that's MVP numbers. Not saying he should get it. I honestly think Saquon should get this, or else that award means nothing.
But Saquon won't get it.
I know he won't, but it's just I don't believe that award
not with somebody
means anything.
Not with the yards that the Ravens were able to get with their quarterback.
You don't think Josh Allen's going to get it?
I don't think Josh Allen gets it. No, look
Josh
at the
Allen
numbers.
doesn't deserve it.
Look at the number comparison.
I think Josh Allen gets it.
Look at the number comparison.
I know
Him and Lamar Jackson.
I know.
Lamar Jackson is a much better.
I think they just need to start calling it the most valuable quarterback award and just let's stop pretending here.
I was listening to some the other day, and they were like Josh Allen's almost like a poor man's Lamar Jackson, right? They do a lot of similar things. Just Lamar Jackson looks like a Maserati, and Josh Allen looks like the garbage
that's
truck.
cool, man. I like Josh Allen. I agree that Saquon should win it. I'm with you on that, Jason. I don't think he will. He should.
Yeah, I don't think he will, but
They
he
won't
definitely
give it to a running back.
he definitely deserves it.
He's had a year like nobody else, so he certainly should. But whether
if they want to say that Hurts has been trash all playoffs, yet they're going to the Super Bowl on the back of Saquon breaking records left and right and in the postseason, like I feel like that's just kind of writing his own ticket for it. But they won't do it.
It's going to go to Lamar. It's going to go to Lamar.
I don't think it will. I
really do.
I don't think I think it's going to be Josh Allen or Saquon. To be honest with you, I don't think. I think Lamar's third place.
No way.
We're number 3.
No.
We're number 3.
No way.
I really
Absolutely
do.
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, we'll have to just see.
We will have to just see because he has a ton of yards on the ground.
And he loses every single time in the first round of the playoffs. He's a choker.
But it's the most valuable player is they base that off the regular season.
Well, he's not the most valuable because he can't get his team past the first round of the playoffs.
I mean, he did everything he could.
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
At the end of that,
could have thrown that ball a little higher. Could have had a little better throw on that.
No,
come on now. All right, Lamar Jackson's stat line, regular season this year. He had 4,172 passing yards. Rushing wise, he had, where is it? See all. Oh, it's not giving me the pass rushing yards. There it is. Rushing yards total this year, he had 915 yards.
That's
more than
good.
a lot of teams running backs.
That's pretty good.
Yes. He had 4,000 passing. He had 41 passing touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions with 4,100 yards. And he ran for almost 1,000 for another 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think he gets it. I think he had a great year, but I don't think he gets it.
That you need to ask about, and like honestly, if it was down to Josh Allen and Lamar, I think Lamar should win it.
Yes.
But this is why I think Saquon deserves it. Lamar was able to do more this year because he had Derrick Henry. So how does that make Lamar more valuable? Derrick Henry added value to him. That's all. But if you look at where the Eagles were last year compared to where the Eagles are this year and how the Eagles got to where they are, hands down, there's no question. It should be Saquon. Because they were not the same.
I'm not fighting that it should. I think if they would have let Saquon play that last game and he broke Eric Dickerson's record, shooing.
Yeah, you guys haven't had me on for that. I think if Saquon wanted to do it, they should have let him.
He did want to do it.
He did want to do it.
Said he wanted
and that's
to do
why
it. They didn't let him.
They should have let him, but I understand.
He
because to let him go for it, you have to start all of your offensive linemen. You have to start your starters. So not only are you risking not only are you risking Saquon, you're risking literally every position on your starting lineup.
How much money here's my rebuttal to that. How much money do these guys make?
A lot, and I agree.
What is their job? Can you go to your job and be like, hey, I know we're good at this point, so let's go ahead and sit me out this one?
I wish.
No, it's a job. Go do your damn job.
Yeah, they should have let him play. He could have got it, and it was against the Giants, which was just it
would have been the chef's kiss to it all.
He definitely wanted to do it. But I get if they win the Super Bowl, then you know what? Then I guess they can say, look, that our decision was good. But if they lose, then I think their decision was shit. If they didn't,
they're going to piss off their honestly franchise running back.
Yeah.
They're not gonna piss him off. He's so much happier here now than he was before. I mean,
he'll be everyone's happy on any other team, but that Giants team is a disease.
Yeah, we're coming back next year though, baby.
Horrible.
We got a plan.
I don't know. He could go to Jacksonville.
Who's that quarterback?
We got a plan.
Shador.
We got a plan in place.
Shador.
I have no
I don't
friggin'
think they
idea.
can get Shador.
Tommy
I don't
Cutlets.
think they get Shador.
Tommy Cutlets, baby.
Tommy Cutlets, yeah, is going to win them all of half a game.
He did.
How about Sam Darnold?
Somebody
How
had
about
him.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
No. Well, you know, I just saw a thing about.
Rooney came out and
said you keep one of them. Dump one, keep one. Now that's an interesting. Who do you think they keep over? You know, they keep Russell, or
they keep Fields. They keep Fields. He's
Ooh.
younger.
If you're Mike Tomlin, though, you keep Russell.
Yeah, because he's
veteran.
He's a veteran, and you know what you're getting. I don't think
if you want to win 10 games every year, no matter what, whether you have a team that's talented enough to win 14 games or a team that's talented enough to win 6 games, you listen to Mike Tomlin, because you're going to win 10 games.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna go nowhere anymore. Like it's not like it was back when he had Roethlisberger and was actually making Super Bowls. He's just he's I don't want to say he's mediocre. He's obviously better than mediocre, but you know,
he's definitely amazing.
He's not
coach.
a coach that leads to excellence.
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I like that the owner came out and made it public too. Didn't care. But we got some other NFL news to talk about, so let's we can wrap up this Eagles bull crap.
The games,
yeah, but nothing else matters. Let's be real.
All right. Well, okay. We saw the other side. We saw the other side of the league. We saw Josh Allen come up short again for the 4th time against the Chiefs, which is crazy. You also saw a lot of the same crap we saw in the last round, where the Chiefs, like the penalty where the Bills, I think it was Phillips, got the personal foul down in the end zone, right? Well, right before that, the ref's sitting right next to Travis Kelce, who's screaming at the player, and all Phillips did was come in to defend his teammate. And they didn't call personal foul on the Chiefs. They called it on the Bills. Everything went the Chiefs' way, ref-wise. So,
like missing 2 first downs in a row.
Yes, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was the one that got me is he definitely had the first down on that 4th
the first play,
inch.
The 3rd down play had the first down.
He did both, and then even the one ref had him over, and then they went with the guy who marked him back further.
They went the guy on the far side of the field that had less of a view of it.
No, but when they actually did the angle on the camera, he was definitely over the line. I mean,
100%.
I thought it was shit. But I'm going to say this: Buffalo's not going anywhere until they get a friggin' defense. Their defense sucked, because even at the end of the game, all they had to do was make one stop, and they could not do it. And it's not like it was anything going on magically out there. They just can't do it. And their offensive line, Josh Allen was on the run most of the night, and I love the team, I love him and stuff, but they got to do something, because they're going to be exactly where they are every year. They're going to make it through the season, they're going to go in the playoffs, and they're not going to go any further. Sadly, I don't think he had that bad of a game or anything, but I thought some of the play calling was crap. I thought, some of it. That
drop there, that last drop, that was heartbreaking.
But that was just
heartbreaking.
He just, man. But on the other hand, he lofted that thing up there. I don't even know if he knew
he did.
There was.
He did. He lofted it up,
there.
but he put it where it needed to be.
He did put it there.
Kincaid needed to make the catch, and it's just. I mean, it was definitely a harder catch to make than the Andrews drop, but
yeah,
that was a very catchable ball, and I think he definitely should have made that catch.
Well, I the only thing I'll say is I believe that. And I'm not a big Chiefs. I mean, I don't dislike the Chiefs or anything, but I think they have a better chance to beat the Eagles than I think Buffalo did. I know Buffalo can throw the ball and stuff, but they give up a lot of runs, and I think Saquon would just run all over them if they were playing them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the defensive front for Kansas City can match up with
they can
run game.
Yeah, they got some good players, and they're going to give up some yard. But I just think defense, and they have a better defensive coordinator. Spags over there. He'll get them ready, and it'll be a better game than I think than trying to watch Josh Allen score 50 points to beat somebody, because that's basically what it would come down to, I think.
I mean, everybody likes to say that, there's teams that can match up to stop Saquon, but I mean, if you look, even go back to the Philadelphia Baltimore game. Baltimore had a pretty decent rush defense. Saquon still broke 100 yards and scored a touchdown.
Yeah, he's gonna get his yards.
But in that game, there wasn't 14 defenders counting the refs. There is in this game.
Yeah, but generally, for the most part, outside of a couple of plays here and there, mostly you got to worry about the refs when the Chiefs' offense is on the field. You can't sneeze on Mahomes without getting a flag thrown.
Well, apparently they're not going to give you first downs either, so you better get those first downs by 3 yards.
That was some shit.
I mean, how you going to stop the Eagles from doing that though? That's the thing.
They're going to call. You know what?
Oh, you're going to call those offsides on the tush pushes?
They're going to be a tush push, and they're going to mark them short.
Yeah, you know
He's
what?
He's going to get it, and they're going to mark him short.
It's going to be a good game. I think it'll be I think it's a better game than if I would have loved to see Buffalo there, but I just think it's a better game with Kansas City just because of the defense, to be honest with you.
Yeah, their defense is definitely better. I think Buffalo's offense was better, though. It was more of a concern for me.
You say that, but freaking Kansas City, they do when they need to. They Mahomes gets down there and they make plays. Worthy had a big game. Kelsey's always out there. I mean, they will make plays. So I think it'll be close.
When you put Worthy and Quinyanamo Bay, he's not getting anywhere.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's funny.
So here's what my feel for this game is. It's human nature to always, for the refs to gravitate towards the Chiefs. That's human nature. It's human nature for all of us to hate the Chiefs because we're fatigued on it. If the Eagles want to win, they need to get out fast and they need to get ahead quick and put it away early. Like make it a second half where Mahomes is only throwing and you can just chew clock.
I think if we go into it at half where the score is where it's a one possession game, then I'm going to be a lot less worried. The Eagles have consistently shown, and they come out at halftime. Like, I don't know if it's Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio or if it's Sirianni, but they make some really good adjustments. They've already worn down the defense enough, and they don't abuse Saquon in the first half, and then just set him loose in the second. So it's worked out so well.
Right, but this year.
Right.
But track record for Sirianni is he's made some pretty stupid calls in some pretty big situations.
Now, if we just, as long as we don't go back and hear the things I've said about Sirianni on this show, I'm going to just go out and make my first new take of Sirianni. He's the best coach in the NFL.
Oh, God.
Nobody better.
Yeah,
I know
Andy Reid,
everybody should love him.
You can't say that over Andy Reid, buddy.
No, I mean, without joking, yeah, I'm not a big Sirianni guy, but I mean, he's done a decent job this year for what it's worth. But I also think Kellen Moore is also an very offensive, talented coach.
Absolutely.
And Vic Fangio has just done stuff with this defense that, I mean,
it also helps to have a game record and Jalen Carter in the middle.
Good Lord, that guy
is a game. He wrecks the game.
I've watched so much film breakdown of him, and it's just absolutely disgusting what he does and what he brings to the table.
Yeah, he's really good.
We got the two best cornerbacks in the draft, and DeJean is more of our nickel corner, and he's done a great job there. And Quinyon Mitchell, like, he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league currently, and he's a rookie. So, yeah.
I'm assuming are you picking, Jason, will you be picking the Eagles in the Super Bowl? Then?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
All right, give me a score prediction.
Yeah, we want to hear a score. Let's hear a score.
I want to hear a score prediction here.
We'll go 27. We'll say it's going to be 27-17.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's make it 34-24. Let's.
Okay.
34-24. Wow, a 10-pointer. Okay. All right, Bunk. Thoughts on the game? We didn't really let you talk too much about it. And then give us your score.
Well, until someone can beat Kansas City, I'm going to go with Kansas City. Plus, I don't like the Eagles. And I think their coaches are really good in Kansas City, and they'll have a good scheme for the Eagles' offense. I don't know that it's super high scoring, just because the Chiefs honestly don't score very many points anymore. I mean, they just don't. I'm going to go Kansas City 27. I'm going to Eagles 23.
That's okay. 27-23. Okay. All right. So for me, it is along the same lines. I am actually going to be rooting for the Eagles.
Oh, God.
I will be. Because, A, I like Saquon a lot. I think he's a great back. And I think he is the difference maker on that team. I think it is an extremely close game. I think it comes down to a field goal at the end. I'm thinking it is going to be 24-23.
Wow. Okay.
I think it is a 1-point game. These teams match up very well with each other.
Yeah, I think they do too.
Both defenses know how to stop the advantage, I guess, that each offense has. Now, the Eagles have a much more mobile quarterback. So if they want to start running QB power to chew clock, that would be huge. Him and Saquon together, maybe throw an option in there, things like that, which we've seen them kind of dabble with that in the past. On the Chiefs side, we know that they're going to bracket coverage Kelsey because that's where he looks in big games. Who's the player that's going to step up, right? Who's the player? And I think Pacheco's going to have a good game. Not up the middle. He ain't going to be able to run up the middle. Jalen Carter's stopping him, but I think they're going to find a way to get him on the outside and use his speed. But I think it's very close, 24-23.
Yeah,
I just don't think the Eagles are all that worried about their running game. I think they're going to concentrate heavily. They're going to make them throw, which, I mean, it's always dangerous to make them do. But, I mean, the Eagles' front is just too strong for their running game. Their running attack isn't that good.
You watch Kansas City run screens with their running backs all day long.
Sure.
They will swing past. That's what I'm saying. Extended run game. It's still passing, but it is getting him to the outside, right? Because they're going to use their fast wide receivers. They're going to use Brown and Worthy to take guys out. So where's that in the middle, right? And I think the running backs passing game is going to be huge for Kansas City in this game.
I think Bond and Roland Smith and those guys will keep it contained. I'm not too worried about.
I know you're always going to say that though, Mr. Eagles. You're always going to. No, but the
Eagles have the best defense in the NFL.
I think that's debatable.
All right, debating Manning over here.
Debating Manning, yes.
Debatable.
That is debatable.
I think it is debatable. I think it's going to be a short game. Mahomes isn't going to throw 30, 40 yards down. He's going to do a lot of short game stuff.
It's going to have to be short game.
Well,
but
Nick,
that's what they do. That's how they do it.
I think if there's a difference maker for the Chiefs, it's going to be Xavier Worthy.
Which he was this last game. That is who they went to win that game in Buffalo.
He's going to be the player the Eagles have the hardest time containing.
And, we watched it when he was at Texas. He was faster than everyone. He's just faster than everyone.
Fast, yeah.
Right.
He's just, if your quarterback can get it to him, you're going to have a hard time stopping. Now, the problem is he's slight. You can knock him off the route. You knock him off the route, you're going to throw off timing. Problem is he has Patrick Mahomes, who is like the best quarterback at improvising in those situations. So it should be, honestly, I think it's going to be one of like the best Super Bowls we've seen in a long time. And I do think it's going to be tight the whole game. Until somebody beats the Chiefs, I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs.
It's the thing with the Chiefs. I'll just say, I think the teams are really close, but Andy Reid and Spags, those guys can coach, man. And
for sure.
The thing is, they got 2 weeks now to get ready. And Mahomes, he just pulls crap out of his butt.
He does.
I think it's going to be close too. I don't think it's going to come down to probably the end of the fourth quarter. I'm thinking it's going to be like 23-20, and then Chiefs go down and score a touchdown. It's going to be 27-23. So that's my prediction.
I think you're going to see a last-minute field goal. It's going to be 21-23.
I'm hoping the Eagles don't
Eagles
leave
are
it up
up.
to a last-minute field goal.
And
Jake
I
Elliott
think,
has not been automatic this year.
right, well, I think Harrison Butturds is going to get it.
The butt
He has
turd.
been very.
And
He
you
has
think he's
been.
gonna? You think he's gonna mess it up?
No, I think he's the one that hits the game-winning field goal that wins it.
I
Oh,
thought you
you're
said you had
picking
the
you're
Eagles
picking the
winning
Chiefs
it.
then.
No, I said the Chiefs. Chiefs 24. I want the Eagles to win.
Oh, I got you. I
Oh,
got
okay.
I
you.
want
I
the
got
Eagles to
you.
win.
Okay.
I'm picking the Chiefs to win.
All right.
Mm.
I like it.
I want the Eagles to win.
I like it.
Well,
Keep
I don't like you, Nick.
keep
That's
your
fine.
Jason.
I've
Keep
heard
your
that many
phone.
times.
Keep your phone close to you during the Super Bowl.
No, stop saying that
Yeah,
to him.
you
'Cause
told
every
me
time
that,
you
and
do
then
that,
you
it's a
didn't.
blowout.
Nah, it's
I
not gonna
did
be
that
blowout.
this week, and you didn't text me until the second half.
I know.
Almost.
I was out. I wasn't home. No, come on.
I will defend him. We were out. We were not home.
I saw your text. Your
Oh, were
grainy.
you
I saw
out-
your
were you out
grainy ass
breaking
text
Nick's ankles?
today.
Yeah, he was out breaking my ankles, and we were
I
at
was. Yes.
Big Bevo's birthday party. He's old now.
Yeah.
And Jason, I don't know what kind of text you were sending me because I can't see any of them. They're so bad.
Yeah, no. Hey, you know why? It's because he's got the green message Android boy over here.
Oh, Android.
Yeah, no, it's
God.
just because iPhones do that. They try to pretend they're supreme by
Okay.
limiting other
All
people's
right.
stuff.
All
No,
right.
there's a new thing going on. I heard this because my children are in high school now, where there's a form of bullying where people with Android feel bullied
Oh
in
my
text
God.
messages because they have a green bubble and everyone else has blue.
Wow. Sure happy we didn't have technology when I went to school. Zero technology.
All right. Well, there is some other news going on in football, NFL in general. There's been some hires, questionable hires. I'll start with Jacksonville hiring Cohen, which
Yeah, I don't
meh,
even, that's
we'll see.
interesting. That's an
We'll
interesting
see.
one.
You guys needed
When he-
defensive-oriented coaches.
When he did the Duval chant at his press conference, though, I was like, man, this guy just is not it.
No, I don't think so
Immediately,
either. So weird. That was a
this guy's
weird,
nerd.
weird choice, in my opinion. That was kind of a strange one.
Yes. But both of you guys are in the NFC East and have to be very ecstatic that Schottenheimer was appointed the new Cowboys coach.
Surprised. I was
thoroughly
surprised.
amused.
You don't think he's going to do well?
Hell no, he's going to do horrible there.
He's there because I'm pretty sure he told Jerry Jones he'll put up with his shit for probably the rest of his breathing days.
I think it's only a 4-year contract.
That one was under
He's getting up there.
That was under the covers there. Nobody, there was no rumors outside of Dion, of course. There were no rumors. We didn't know who was kind of going and interviewing there. And then he released it at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, so he wouldn't have to hear anybody's shit right away about it.
And everybody did shit right away.
Yeah. I was surprised that that was a surprise pick to me. But I got to think not a lot of guys want to actually work for him. And that,
I know
Kellen Moore.
There was one guy that was waiting to get an offer.
Who's that?
And he's in Colorado.
Who?
Never was offered.
I don't think anyone's seriously going to offer
Neon
him
Dion.
No, God.
I think they will.
I thought Kellen Moore was going to go there, but he's already been there. Maybe that was kind of the problem.
He was there as the OC, and maybe he didn't want to go because he was familiar with it. But if you want to go and get a head coaching gig and walk in there, and you have, a lot of talent at the court. I can say what I want about Dak. I don't think he's great, but you're going to have a talented enough quarterback to get
he's better
something
than half
done.
of the league.
Yeah,
you have
definitely
CeeDee
better than half the
Lamb,
league.
and honestly, Jalen Tolbert looks, half decent. So they would probably prioritize a running back either in free agency or in the draft because this is a very deep running back draft. It's extremely deep. You're going to get yourself a running back.
I honestly see them going for a big-time wide receiver first round.
I don't. There's no reason to, because think of it like this: they still got to pay Parsons.
They do have to pay Parsons, but you go get in not free agency. They're going to draft. I feel like they're going to draft a wide receiver to take pressure off CeeDee Lamb, and they felt good.
Tolbert's been doing that. Tolbert looks pretty good this year. He had himself a year this year. I think what they need to do is get a cheap rookie running back contract and ride him out and then build around that because they have to pay Parsons. They have to pay him or
No,
let him go.
they're going to pay
And
Parsons.
he'll just go to Philly because, that's just what we do. He wants to go to Philly anyway. That guy is a Philly guy.
That's where Penn State guys go.
That's right.
God. Ouch.
I just say, I think they take a wide receiver. Or it's
see.
Jerry Jones. They're going to take a friggin' quarterback.
Who
or
knows
something.
what?
Who the
There's
hell
no
knows
telling what
they're
he's
gonna
going to do. He's the one
They're
who.
all over the place.
He's the draft guy. Let's be honest. He drafts whoever he wants to. It's not. They can have all the teams they want in there helping them, but he's going to decide who it is. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting pick for Dallas.
Schottenheimer is Dak's guy.
I think he'll do okay.
He has a very good relationship with Dak Prescott. I think that's why they made this move. I think there's a package deal there. I think if this doesn't work out, Dak and Schottenheimer gone quick.
Yeah, but how do you offload Dak at $60 million?
Somebody out there, some desperate ass team will pay him. So the Raiders will pay him $60 million a year.
Hey,
somebody will pay
the
him.
Raiders. Speaking of the Raiders, they got my boy Petey Carroll.
I know.
I like Pete Carroll. I don't know. I don't know how he goes with the Raiders at 70-something years old and how that works. He has a lot of energy still.
Does he have to have a Mark Davis haircut as well? Is that a prerequisite or?
The thing with he just doesn't come across as a Las Vegas Raider guy. I mean,
no, not at all.
That's just not. That's generally not. Maybe that's been the problem. They hire all these other guys, but I like him. I'm happy he's back in coaching, but that's a tough job there. They got zero.
Well, actually, I have a question for you, Bunk. Moving on to another hire.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel about the Jets getting Aaron Glenn?
I like that. I like that hire.
You don't feel like maybe they should have gone for a more offensive-minded coach since their defense is not the problem?
I think he is gonna do good there, but he's got to hire decent offensive coordinator, and they got to figure out the quarterback thing. I mean, they're still like, come on, why are we even still non-committal on Aaron Rodgers? Is that a joke? He does not need to be the quarterback next year. But there's no quarterbacks out there. That's kind of the problem.
The thing is, who do you go with other than him?
Yeah, I mean, they're in a position where it's him or something. But
you don't bring back Darnold. Not the Jets.
They're not going to bring back Darnold. And Aaron Rodgers did not. Let's be honest. He didn't. Even when he got healthy there at the end, he didn't play well. So it's not like he played real well at the end of the season, and he's healthy. He didn't play well at all. Period. He's done. I don't know what they do there, to be honest with you.
I feel like the logical thing for them to do is just go heavy offensive line and free agency in the draft. Go get some sort of mobile quarterback until you can feel secure in your offensive line not leaking.
Go get the Steelers quarterback that's not going to be there.
Yep. That's probably that would probably
get the Steelers quarterback.
I agree.
That's not going to be there.
I would agree with you there. I think one of those two guys would be the right move there, and obviously the Steelers are only keeping one. But
and on a side question, if you get Fields or Russell Wilson, do you maybe just go ahead and get Shedeur Sanders in the draft and have him come up behind him?
You're trading up to get that.
They'd have to.
You're trading a lot to get Shedeur.
Are you though?
Yes, because the Giants are at 3.
The Giants are at 3.
What about Cam Ward?
Cam Ward is going to go to the Titans.
Yeah, I think he's number 1 out of there.
So you guys think they're actually giving up on Levis?
I do. I personally do. They've sat him, brought him back so many times.
I just don't think there's
brought him back.
The Titans said that they wouldn't pass on a generational talent.
I understand.
I don't think there's one of those in this draft.
They're talking about Travis Hunter.
Oh, God.
But even if okay, all right. So who's that 2? The Browns?
You mean the guy that wasn't a top receiver or a top cornerback?
I understand. But everybody says he's generational.
Yeah, that's
what everyone has said, and that's why they said it. Okay, so say they do pass, right? The Browns are at 2. They don't have a quarterback now.
Okay, so they'll take Cam Ward probably.
Okay, and then 3 is the Giants.
They would take Shedeur at 3.
They'll take Shedeur.
Or as the Giants, no. Like, I don't know. I don't think
What
they
is
take
your
Shador.
quarterback option then? What's your
I
quarterback
just
option?
I think they either go for maybe like Sam Darnold,
They're
somebody
not. They're
that's
not going to
gonna.
bring him back to New York though. They're not going to. He doesn't want to be in
He
New
was
York.
never in
He
the
was a Jet.
Giants.
He was a Jet,
It
but
was a
he does.
jet.
He has openly said he hated the media there. Why would he go back? He won't sign that contract.
I mean, understandable because he was
Yeah,
absolutely
they
awful.
ran him
Well,
out of there. Yeah,
when
he
I say
was
he was
awful.
awful, I don't think it was his fault necessarily. Just
No, it's the organization as a
yeah.
whole. The Jets organization is in shambles. But I just they're going to take a quarterback because they need to. They need to give their fan base something.
They have to.
And
They have to
they
do that.
have to. They have to take a quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, do you take a rookie quarterback, make him your quarterback, and still have one of the worst O lines in football?
Yes, you do.
Hmm.
It works out perfectly. He had one of the worst offensive
More
line in
damaged
college. He
goods.
had one of the worst offensive
Hey,
lines in college, so he's all
yeah,
right.
he'll get
He's used
it.
to it.
You're right. It's gonna be interesting to see if there's any trades going on. But I agree. Well, what do they do with Levis? I mean, maybe somebody else takes him if they go quarterback first. Then
You trade him for like a third or a fourth
yeah,
round pick or
yeah, and then
something.
somebody. I mean, maybe he'll do better in a different system with a different coach. I don't know that he's
Yeah,
that
that's why
bad.
I think like okay, maybe they make a swap with Minnesota. Levis goes to be the backup for JJ McCarthy, or I guess no, because Darnold's a free agent, isn't he?
Yep.
Darnold in Tennessee would work out. It is a smaller market with a decent enough team around him in a not very tough division.
Mm, I wouldn't say they're.
Decent
I don't
enough
think Tony
for
Pollard's
that
an
division.
RB1
No,
caliber running back, and I don't
no,
think that Calvin Ridley is your, you know,
but you don't take Ashton Genty at one.
No,
no.
No. So if
But
you're
then
saying, okay, I
trade
need a
down.
receiver, you could trade down, and somebody's trading up. They're going to have to trade a ton. They're going to ask for a ton.
yeah,
You should, and they should. And really, are you, as an organization, are you willing to what is everyone has said is a down draft year for quarterback? Are you willing to give up that much draft capital to go get one of the two quarterbacks that everybody thinks are sure bets? That I don't think,
I don't think either of them
honestly,
are.
Shador is going to have. There's going to be a transition period for both. Cam Ward is more ready for it than Shador is.
But those guys come out every year. There's guys that look ready. Jaden Daniels looks good this year. This year was a pretty good
Oh man,
group.
yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, every time that happens, 4 or 5 quarterbacks, maybe one of them is okay. I mean, even when Levis came out, he was going to be the guy, and all these guys are, and they're not. So there's no sure bet, I don't think, in this year's draft.
Absolutely not.
I mean, and there's not a ton of quarterback. I don't know. I guess Darnold's out there. Cousins is going to be out there. One of the
Yeah.
Chicago guys will be out, or the Pittsburgh guys will be out there. I don't know. It's going to be
Okay.
interesting to see.
What if a team like Tennessee, say they do trade back? Would that be a good landing spot for someone like Jackson Dart? If they traded back, got capital, and brought Jackson Dart in,
Where are you saying that they're trading
they would
back
have to
to
trade
get
way
Dart?
back. They'd have to trade way back because they could honestly not trade anything and sit and probably get him second or third round.
Yeah, definitely they could. And I don't know. Is he an upgrade from Levis? I don't know. He's just another
He
gamble.
throws for 9 million yards.
Well, I get that. Levis threw for a bunch in college too, and he was like prototypical guy, can throw the ball a mile and stuff. I don't know. I'm worried about my Giants, man.
Well, they're going to take a quarterback.
I know.
Which one we don't know yet.
They may, they could, in all honesty, they could trade down, get some more draft picks, and still pick a quarterback down a little lower. I just think their fans would annihilate them if they did that. I think that's the biggest issue for me. I think probably from a business move, that would probably be a good move. There's other quarterbacks in the draft you can get later that, in my opinion, aren't that much different than the first two. But man, they would just get roasted in New York for that. Bad.
So here's a question. So looking at the draft order, right? So say
Mm-hmm.
in Jason's scenario, Tennessee trades back or doesn't. They take Travis Hunter. right? Then only one of those quarterbacks comes off between Cleveland, because Cleveland hasn't been committed to taking a quarterback yet, and they still have Watson on the books. Okay, so Giants take one of the quarterbacks, the other one's sitting there, and Jacksonville comes up. As the Jets, you know that Vegas is going to target a quarterback.
Vegas will.
Do you make that move then? Do you give Jacksonville a bunch to get ahead of Vegas?
How much do you really honestly pay to trade up from 7 to 5, though? I mean, you're maybe talking a second
For a
rounder.
quarterback.
Well, if
No,
they-
it's going to be more than
If they have that second quarterback rated high, they would.
they'll pay a ton.
But Jacksonville's not picking a quarterback.
We're
They
not
know
talking multiple firsts to trade up, though. You're talking about maybe, you're going
No.
to swap the 7 and
I
the
think-
5. You're
I
going to give
think-
them your second this year
I
and
think
maybe
you'll
a
see at
second
least
and
two.
something next year.
And they would make the trade though, Bunk, because Vegas needs a quarterback, and Vegas is right ahead of them.
They would. No, I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I'm just saying Jacksonville's not picking a quarterback. They know
They're
that.
not.
But
No, you move back.
the only reason they would make that trade is to prevent Vegas from taking somebody.
Right. The Jets would be the team
Correct.
that's initiating that trade.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, the
I mean,
Jets would
Jacksonville
have
might
to.
initiate that trade and say, "Hey, New York,
Yeah.
do
You want
wanna
your
get
quarterback. Vegas
So-
is
But I mean, there's other players that they could take. I mean, Jacksonville needs a lot of players. They could take the tight end from Penn State. They could take
only
whether
about
it's
two
going to be
spots.
quarterback, then you're not losing any what you wanted to pick. Now, looking at the draft order there, Nick. You were talking about Dallas. Dallas is the first team on the board that needs a running back at 12. Would you
Yeah.
spend a 12 on Ashton Genty? Jahmyr Gibbs was a 12 pick.
I am in the opinion of a career span is so short for a running back. It makes no sense to spend that spot for a running back. It doesn't. I would personally not take a running back unless it's like the most sure thing and it's the back end of the first round.
But you get your best years out of a running back for their first 5 or so years.
No, I get that
So
completely.
why not get one of what is a generational talent in Ashton Genty?
He is. He's amazing, but there's still a learning curve.
And I would also hate to see Dallas do. I hope Dallas doesn't.
He
do
wants
that.
to go there. Genty wants to go
bet he
there.
does.
I think Genty's most. I think the best fit for him though would be under Sean Payton in Denver. I think that's the best fit for his running style and the offense that Payton runs. Now, Dallas is probably going to take him at 12. And there's no problem with that. Me personally, though, I'm just not taking a running because how many times, yes, you get the best years, but how many times do they just kind of fizzle out real quick too? So I don't know. I am not in the opinion. I think you can give good backs later in the draft still.
There's a lot of backs in this draft.
I mean,
There's a lot of
this
running
draft
backs.
is deep.
Mhm.
It's very deep, but there is definitely a drop off when you talk about Ashton Genty and what he's done, and just the way it's hard to see teams getting this excited about a running back.
For sure. And they did that with Bijan too. When
he went
Bijan
8.
came there, and he went 8. So I'm not saying it won't happen. It probably will happen. Honestly, one of those teams ahead will make a splash move and get him. I could see like New England trading back a little bit and then making a move for Genty. But I don't.
True.
I personally would not spend a first round pick when I have holes in other spots on my offensive lines getting older in Dallas. They have some defensive line. They were like a sieve this year, horrible at stopping the run.
They had a lot of injuries though on their defense this year.
They did, but think about injuries. Not everybody comes back from an injury the same. So
it's fair. I just think it would be foolish for Dallas not to do it. But then I'm also looking further down, and I mean, if you're Pittsburgh, do you trade up?
Pittsburgh. Oh man,
I don't think Janty's falling to 21.
No, I don't think so either. I think Denver takes him if it gets to 20.
Yeah, I think somebody's going to trade up for him. Someone's going to trade up with like Cincinnati or Arizona or Atlanta.
Pittsburgh needs more than a running back, man.
Pittsburgh needs a lot.
Yeah, but they definitely need a running back. They definitely need a running back.
They do.
They do, but they they got other issues, man. I think you're going to see some of the bigger lineman guys going down when they get to those. A lot of those teams need linemen. They can't friggin' keep defense off their quarterbacks. I mean, was an issue.
That's the thing. And the offensive tackle and guard class this year is pretty strong. There's a lot of good linemen coming out this year. I think we're going to see very heavy linemen first round.
I mean, when you see that there's a deep class for like offensive tackles, defensive tackles, generally you see a couple go early. But then you see teams trading back because they're like, well, I can get one of the ones that I like further back. And teams that are, when you have people like Travis Hunter, quote unquote generational talent in some people's minds, but or Ashton Jeanty,
I'm just
people
telling you
will
what
trade
I've heard,
up
buddy.
for that value.
They will.
So
yeah,
that's why I'm thinking, teams will be looking to shop around, and I think teams like Pittsburgh or Denver, because Denver, I mean, they have Estime was starting to look really good at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But the problem with them, and I hate teams like, I understand the NFL is shifting to a running back by committee kind of deal, and I can understand the teams that have like two running backs that kind of trade off. But then you got teams like Denver where they're like, yeah, we got 3 or 4 running backs. Let's just throw one in here and see what happens.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need to find that guy, and I mean, I don't see them doing it. They have other needs more so than they do running back. But I think Pittsburgh, Arizona's got a good running back.
They do. Arizona's got a good running back.
There's just not a lot between Dallas. Like, there's a lot of teams with good running backs. I could see Chicago wanting a running back, but they have other concerns. They need to fix that O-line before they do anything.
Of concerns.
New Orleans.
The
Kamara's getting pretty old.
The Browns could be someone that trades back for a running back. They're at 2. You could trade back to get, because Nick Chubb is amazing when he's out there. But how much is he actually out there?
They need a quarterback. I think Cleveland, of all teams, they're not going to trade back to get a running back. They might trade up.
I think they need an established quarterback. I think they're going to go the route of getting someone in free agency. Personally,
I think Cleveland might just wait till the second round and grab someone like Judkins or whichever running back falls.
I could definitely see that too. Yeah, you could definitely see that as well. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really interested in the draft this year because there's a lot of unknown. I know there's teams that they need quarterbacks. They're going to be at the top, but like there's a lot of holes on a lot of teams. What are they going to do to fill some of those holes? There's some glaring holes on a majority of the teams in the league right now.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes. For sure. Anything else on the NFL, fellas?
I don't have anything.
No, go Birds.
Oh,
go
boy.
Birds.
God.
You're telling me you'd rather see the Chiefs win, Bunk, than the Eagles?
I don't like the Eagles.
Okay. That's okay.
He's a Giants fan. It's
He's a Giants fan, yeah. He's just
one of the best parts of my day today was watching all of the it's insane how many reaction videos there are from like Washington fans, Dallas fans, and Giants fans, all just hoping the Eagles lose and then watching them just lose their shit in the second half.
It's okay. As at least like the team that you hate and don't want to see win is actually winning games. Where Jacksonville, it's just another crappy team, but they're just less crappy than Jacksonville every year. So
yeah,
friggin' Colts and the Titans.
I'm gonna go. I'm going. You know what? I wish 2 other teams were in there, to be perfectly honest with you. But since those are the 2, I'm definitely going to Chiefs.
All right.
Sadly.
All right. Well, one thing I do want to touch on college football. Things kind of quieted down, kind of dead period in recruiting, things like that. But one really, really big shuffle in the coaching carousel on the coordinator side is the defensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes Jim Knowles just landed the biggest contract ever for an assistant. If that defense is no good next year, there's going to be riots. They're paying him $3.1 million as a defensive coordinator.
That's crazy money. Wow.
What happens if that doesn't work? They're stuck to that. right?
You know what though? He's an established guy. I mean, you say it doesn't work, but he is an established guy. I mean, what would constitute not working? I mean,
They're all in. They have their quarterback back. They have their two running backs back. They have most of their offensive line back.
right.
They need wide receivers. They're going to have an amazing defense next year. Probably, when all things are said, top three defense in the in
Yeah.
in college football. Man, I couldn't think of that word. In college football, right? Unless the scheme doesn't work for the personnel. If that defense is the one that drops the ball with two NFL running backs and what is probably one of the top quarterbacks coming out next year, that's huge. They're all in this year. James Franklin's gone. If that's the case.
I agree. I mean, it's a huge contract, and it's a big get for him. I mean, they lost their guy, so kudos to them. But that's a crap load of money for a DC in college.
Yep. Texas doesn't even pay their DC.
And Texas pays everybody a lot of money.
They pay everybody
God bless.
money.
It's gonna be that's gonna be good. All right, we'll start seeing some more college. Isn't there another portal period here in like March or something?
There's another portal period after spring ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see how that.
Texas needs to figure out defensive line in the middle, but I feel pretty comfortable with them. Early predictions are coming out that it's really the top three are Penn State, Ohio State, and Texas in all different jumbled order, but it's always those three in the top, which is kind of crazy to see. Typically, it's so heavy SEC bias at this time of year, but you're not seeing a lot of those teams up top this year, and you're seeing some of the ACC teams creep in. There you go, there, Boomer. How do you feel about the transfers and kind of the approach of Florida State there, Boomer?
I haven't been watching too much, honestly. I've been kind of disillusioned after this season this year, but I did see that we did lose the number 4 quarterback recruit for 2026 already.
Right.
He decommitted, so Brady Miguel is gone. I mean, I hear that we've done a purge, and we'll see.
Do you knock on all of the boosters, like all the big donors' doors? Because even the buyout, even after this coming year, is massive.
Honestly, I would not be able to show my face to their doors after this year. I mean, you have to. Obviously, you're not gonna
say
get
they
better.
have,
but let's think of it like this. I mean, you go historically. Florida State has been one of those schools that was able to pull top 10 recruiting classes year in and year out, and now we just solely depend on the transfer portal. Now,
but there's coaches that is there. Look at Lane Kiffin is that way, and it works for him. Mel Tucker took a team to the college football playoffs.
But how do you build a culture like that? And that's the thing.
You're hiring mercenaries.
There used to be a culture that you are breeding this talent, and sure, you're not, winning, even ACC championships year in and year out, but you're competitive, and you've built this team from scratch. These guys play with each other, and now you're just bringing in a mishmash of talent from here and there and different personalities that have been through different cultures, and they just don't mesh, and it just does not. I'm not like, I understand hitting the portal for some, but basing that as your entire offseason strategy, I don't go for that. I think we need to kind of focus on the recruiting side of it and then fill in gaps with the transfer portal.
So they're at 36 right now, but that is before the decommitment from the quarterback. 36 in ranking.
He was 2026 too, so it's not...
Okay. So right now you do have Kevin Sperry coming in, who's going to be a pretty darn good quarterback in the long run. The problem is that, right? College is culture. Like, you build a culture of a team, you can bring people, like 3 or 4 people in the transfer portal, and the culture stays. The culture's gone once you bring in half the team. Like, Colorado has no culture. There's zero culture on that team because it's 80 new players every year. Right? You can't build culture that way. And that's for 18-year-olds, 17 to 21-year-old kids. Well, I guess 26 now. They let them play forever. But, like, Like that's part of it, right? That's what you know. You're not to that professional level. Those guys don't know how to make those decisions, money decisions and stuff like that. So it is a weird way to go about it. I think the problem with Florida State is if they have a bad year like this next year, and Florida has the players to be good next year, and they're gonna watch Florida be better. That's gonna be a huge problem with that fan base.
Florida, that quarterback, I can't remember his name, but
Yes,
I
absolutely.
remember I
Yes.
didn't watch them play very much last year, but I did watch them play Florida State. And I remember watching this play where, one of our D tackles or D ends is literally on him, like just getting carried by him. And then he just throws him off by the face and just stiff arms him off and then throws this frozen rope and just, God, it was such a beautiful play. And I hate to say that about a Gator, but he's going to be good. He's going to be
He's
real
He
very
good.
is good.
good.
They're
Yes,
going to
he
have a
is.
good team. They're going to be good this year.
They're going to be very good. They're going to end the year next year. I boldly predicting them to end the year next year in the top 10. I really
Uh,
do.
maybe not next year, but the year after they're going to be competitive. I think they'll be a
Next
top
year is their
15.
year. Next year is
Yeah,
their year. They Georgia's going to be down a little bit next year, right? Next year is the year to do it. Florida State is still trying to figure it out. Miami is all flash and no substance.
yep.
So that's the year to run Florida, the state of Florida. This is the year for them. And running the state of Florida means you're winning big SEC games. Texas goes into the swamp, and that might be the game that I'm most nervous about next year.
I could see that being a nerve-wracking game.
That's
Playing
going to be
in
a
the
huge
swamp,
game.
Ben Hill Griffin is a monster to play in. Yeah, I've been to a couple games in there, and when I was senior year at Cocoa Beach, we went to I think we went to the spring game, but even the spring game, it was intense.
Yeah.
Um, and I went there for a Florida State game. That was a lot of fun. Uh, we only scored 15 points, and this was back when they had Tim Tebow, so it was an absolute shit show.
Not as fun.
And my brother stuck me in with some student tickets, so I was sitting in the student section with my Florida State
Oh my
jersey.
God.
Oh boy, that
That's a
was
tough
an
one.
experience, but it was intense. It was a very intense setting to go to. So,
Awesome.
especially when do you guys play them? Early or later?
Middle of the year.
Middle of the year? Ooh, so I mean, if they're starting out pretty
Let's
strong.
let me double check. Yeah, October 4th, Texas.
Oh, damn, that's my cousin's birthday, so I
But
wonder if he'll
it's
go.
between, so it goes Miami, Texas, Texas A&M are there. That's a pretty tough 3 game stretch there. LSU might be pretty good too, and that's before Miami. Florida has a really tough schedule, but they if they get through it, man, they will beat a lot of these teams.
Oh, for sure. I think they beat Miami. I think they beat A&M.
A&M's going to be pretty good next year with that quarterback too. I'm
Sure,
not.
but
They're going to be good, but you've got okay. Georgia's going to be a tough game. Kentucky, we'll see. Their defense is always good. Old Miss, let's see what Kiffin does to reload. Tennessee will be a tough game. Texas is going to be a tough game. Miami will be a tough game. A&M should be a tough game.
it's
That's a
such a
brutal
Yeah,
schedule.
dirty
that's a hard
schedule.
schedule.
That's a
Good
brutal schedule.
Lord.
they have they have a lot of big names on that. So if they can honestly go through that with 2 losses, they make the playoff next year.
Oh, for sure. I think you're right in being afraid to play there, especially if they're on
Absolutely.
a roll at that point. Like if they're undefeated or if they have like one loss at that point, I'd be terrified.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't Texas is going to be very good next year too. So it'll be a very good game.
That's right, because you guys are gonna be starting your good quarterback.
Yeah, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right.
Heisman winner.
All right. That's all I've got for college football. Anything else, fellas?
I don't have anything.
Oh
All
no,
right.
not at all.
Well, Bunk, I know you want to talk maybe a little baseball, but I want to get Bunk specifically. I want to get your reaction to this. I don't know if you saw this. It is an NBA story,
Okay.
but the saga of the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler has also taken another one where Jimmy Butler just walked out of practice and
Yeah.
now he's suspended for a third time. How many chances do you give a guy? Like, At what point do you just bench him or trade him?
Well, it's a battle of wills, right? I mean, I will say this, and I'm not, you guys know I'm not a huge basketball fan, but he's been around a long time, and he's established himself. And I don't understand if he says, "Look, I don't want to be here. I just want to be traded," and I don't understand. I'm going to just say this: I don't understand the organization's point in this anymore. It doesn't make sense to me. He's still a good player. Trade him. Get somebody you want. In my opinion, they're being asses about it. Now, it's just I don't know, it's like two little kids just arguing with each other. It's stupid. But I mean, he missed a flight. I know he missed a flight, and they suspended him for that. They keep the suspensions, but what's the point? Trade him. I mean, I don't even understand what's the end game here. He's not going to play for them anymore, clearly. So you might as well get something for him at this point. It's the weirdest friggin' thing I've seen in a long time. You generally don't see, you see these guys trying to force stuff a lot of times in all these sports, but this one's kind of weird. And I'm not on like either of their sides, but if I'm the organization, it should never have gone this far. And to me, it should just be, you know what, man, we're done with you. We'll trade you. Be, good riddance. And I think isn't it still Riley down there running?
Yeah, Pat Riley.
And Pat Riley's the one who asked him to come there. So it's just a weird deal. The whole thing is weird. I don't understand it.
Here's my stance on it. This is NBA players are notorious for doing things like this. But you signed a contract.
He did.
It's just fulfill it. There's only one more year left on that contract. If you want out, you say, hey, can we work on something? Get me out of here. If it's off season, it's off season. I want to go win. I get it. But as an organization, I get where they're coming from too. If you let them walk, everybody's going to expect you do that. Other teams have done that with players. Look at the Rockets with what's his name, right? The beard.
Harden.
Yeah, Harden. He just decided to eat a bunch and not be slow, so they traded him. And then he cut all the weight, and he was fine again, and everybody was laughing at the Houston for that. If I was an organization, hell no. I couldn't get a good deal. You signed a contract. You're part of this team. If you don't want to be part of this team, that's fine. We're not going to pay you. We're going to suspend you.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying I think it's a weird situation just because Pat Riley and his relationship and how Pat Riley wanted them there. I think it's a little different than some of them. I agree with you. He does have a contract and he could play, but I think at this point he could suit up. He's just going to sit on the bench. I mean, they're not playing him. Let's be honest.
No,
even if he comes
absolutely.
back, he's not playing anymore.
I mean, here's the deal with Jimmy Butler. I don't follow NBA too much until it gets near the postseason and only if the Sixers are in. And sometimes the Magic, I'll watch the Magic a little bit. But, this, as far as I can remember, has kind of been a slow burn coming. Like, Butler has wanted out. And I've heard rumblings of Butler wanting out every offseason for the last 3 years. 2 or 3 years. And so this is something that Miami should have gotten ahead of.
They should have
before it got to this point.
Yeah.
Because now if I'm a team like, say, pick random competitive team here, and you're just like, hey, I think I could get a deal on this guy because you guys are going to be sick of him and you're going to be tired of watching him sitting on your bench and being a cancer in your locker room. Here's pennies on the dollar for one of the best players in the NBA. Why do you not get ahead of that a year in advance?
That's what I'm saying, though. It's not like, I mean, both sides are to blame. It's just, like I said, it's like two little kids fighting. But, from an organizational standpoint, get something for him. Right now you have no player. And you can absolutely get something for him because he is a good player still. I mean, he's not my favorite guy. I've never really cared for him, but he is good. And I don't understand why not. Just, you know what? Be done with it. Trade him, get somebody else in, and move on. I mean, they suspended him because he walked out of a shoot-around It says when they told me he was going to be coming off the bench moving forward. So that to me, so he's being an ass in that one, right? He doesn't want to come off the bench, which means he's not going to play. I mean, let's be honest. The problem, these guys, I'm assuming he has so much money, he doesn't really care about the suspension or his pay or any of that shit at this point. So I don't understand. Just trade him and be done. I mean, it's over with. I don't know how much longer. The season still has a ways to go. So, I mean, they're just going to keep doing this for the rest of the season? I don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to get y'all's take on that because it's just something that, like, I think we're seeing that more and more in all sports.
Yeah.
The player try to leverage contracts or sit out. Football especially, too. People sit out all year.
Yeah, I hate it. I actually hate it. I hate baseball does it, too, and I hate it because it's like...
Baseball does it a lot.
You sign the contract.
You sign the contract.
Play the friggin' game.
Fulfill the contract.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. To me, this one seemed a little different just because of, like, prior relationships and stuff, and I think both sides are just being a little ridiculous on this. I certainly wouldn't pay him or give in to him outside of... You could definitely get somebody for him, though. I mean, shit. Why wouldn't you do that? I don't get that.
Yeah, don't let him walk. Just get something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that is all I've got for NBA right now because it's kind of just the middle of the season.
Yeah.
These guys are scoring 9 million points a game at this point. So it's hard to watch.
It is, and their viewership is down a lot. I was reading. I know there's some rabid NBA fans out there, and I get it, but the 3-point thing is just
it's starting to take away. I'll tell you this though, I have watched a few games. The calls of charging instead of, I guess, blocking or whatever, like they're letting them be a little more physical now, which is nice.
They need to. That's good. I don't know. I'll be a playoff guy too. I do like watching the playoffs when it comes around. I can't. And I honestly, I don't even understand. They have like a mid-season playoff now, and I don't even understand any of that. I'll wait for the actual end of the season. Just the weird shit in the middle of the season. I will watch the playoffs at the end, and I'm assuming you're a 76ers fan, Jason.
Yes. Yes.
with a little sprinkle of the Magic in there.
Good Lord. Okay.
All right. Well, hey, Boomer, I know we're about to jump into baseball and you got a jet. Thank you for your time. But any parting words before you take off on us?
Just go Birds, man. You're going to have to believe here. Trust the process there, Bunk.
God.
One day your Giants will see greatness like the Eagles.
I'm hoping in a couple weeks after they lose, we can have this conversation, my friend.
I'll come on to take my licks too.
All right, I like it.
All right.
All right, thanks,
Thank
Jason.
you so much for joining in.
Yep, thanks for having me on, guys.
Okay, man.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
All right, Bunk. Now to baseball.
We still don't have a lot going on. We had the Hall of Fame.
We did have the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Itchy got...
there are a few things that happened.
There are a few things. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. So Ichiro had one lone guy.
How the hell is that one?
Have they haven't identified him yet. Have they?
No, they haven't. Why?
I have to think the only reason is because he did not want him to be in unanimously. I mean, there is no other reason. It just had to be... It's not that he didn't deserve it.
Want Ichiro? That guy is the Hall. He is the Hall of Famer.
I know. Isn't that crazy though? I like where Itchy said he'd like to have go out and have dinner with him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that whoever. I guess the panel, they know who it was, but they're not going to release that guy's name unless the dude comes out and said it was me. Which, God, I wouldn't do it. And then you had CC in, baby.
CC got in.
First ballot?
I did not think he would be first ballot.
I did not think he would be either. He's had a great career, but I didn't think he was first ballot. And then Billy Wagner got in. Last chance, 10 years. So I was happy to see him get in. I thought he deserved it. Now, interesting enough, I saw the list for next year's guys that are eligible. Dude, there is nobody on there that's a Hall of Famer. Not even one.
I haven't looked at it. Hit me with some names.
Oh, man, I knew you were going to ask me that. I can't remember. I was looking at it, and then I was like, "There's nobody on there." But the list isn't. I can't. You know what? I wish I could pull that up. I can't pull it up right now. But it's not a good list. It's going to have to be somebody that missed this year that gets enough votes, and I don't know if there's. It may. I don't know if they ever had a year when nobody got in. I'm assuming they did.
There has to be
some year.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not a good list. But I was happy. You know, I don't know why Ichiro didn't get in. I get at the end of the day, does it matter if you're unanimous?
I don't think
or not?
He's made his money. He is an idol in his home country. That's all he needs.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I just don't think it matters. If you're in, you're in. I mean, it's like going to college. Nobody cares what your GPA was if you have a degree.
Yeah, what do they call it? Called medical student with C's, doctor.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Next year, it's the big names are Cole Hamels and Ryan Braun. They're not getting in.
No. Ryan Braun, he doped. He's done. That ain't gonna happen.
Edward
he got caught doping.
No, he did. Edwin Encarnacion, Alex Gordon, Matt Kemp, Nick Markakis, Hunter Pence. They're not getting in. I mean, they're not, and they're not going to let who?
Hunter Pence might just for postseason heroics. He was a postseason guy.
I don't. I mean, you still got guys out there like friggin' Clemens who never even got proved that he was doping. And he's not in. Manny Ramirez is out there still. I don't think any of those guys. I think the year after that, maybe you got Buster Posey out there. Year after, he'll probably get in. But
Posey should get in.
He
Absolutely.
should. And then guess who else would be in the 2027 class? Your boy and mine. Gigantoid head Brett Gardner.
Oh God, no.
No, obviously.
How's he even on the
because he's
ballot?
Eligible doesn't mean he's gonna get in.
Get out of here with that. That Martian head is not.
No, he's
not a Hall of Fame.
No, of course not. But I think that's funny. So yeah, that was good. So what other news you got there, brother?
So you've got the Cubs just traded for Ryan Presley from to shore up the bullpen. He's coming over from Houston. I thought that was a pretty big move there.
That's a big one.
They're betting on him to come back. He blew 11 of 12 saves last year. That's not good. So making that move is betting on him to go back to what he was before that. So we'll see. You have this one was intriguing. The Rangers signed somebody. Tell me the last time you heard this baseball name. Eric Chavez.
Wow. That's not the Eric Chavez.
The Eric Chavez, my friend.
Really?
41 years old. They just signed him to a minor league deal with a invite to spring training.
Holy crap.
That's 41 weird. Years old.
That's a weird one.
I'm sorry. I'm Jesse Chavez, the pitcher. The
pitcher. Oh, okay. The
pitcher.
That's still
veteran
weird.
right-hander, Jesse Chavez. They signed him. He has been playing for 23 years.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. I don't know. But it's a minor league contract. I don't know what they, I don't guess it doesn't hurt them.
Well, the Rangers need pitching.
Yeah, but
why did they go?
Because you don't have to sign them. It's not any money. You don't actually take off any money from them. So
that's true.
There's still a lot of dudes out there, though, man. Have you looked at the list of? There's a lot.
I have, and the Astros are looking more and more like the landing spot for Bregman. So
yeah,
Altuve came out and said, "I'll do anything for the team to bring back Bregman,
including going to left field."
Yeah, he will go to left field.
Yeah,
Bregman will play third. The Isaac Paredes goes to second base, and they put Altuve in left field.
I don't know what the holdup would be for him going back there. There's got to be something, or else he would have just signed.
They offered him big contract already.
Yeah, I mean,
there's $1 million.
There's got to be. I mean, I don't know. He's in talks with teams, I'm sure, but I don't know what's preventing him from just signing and going back. Got to be something out there though on that.
It's got to be something out there. Yes. And then my last question, I guess, as far as MLB goes for you, is are the Dodgers done?
You mean done signing people?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because they've already came out and said they still want to be aggressive.
I don't even understand that. How many positions? There's only 9 positions out there. No, honestly, how many guys can you friggin' sign?
But people want to go to win. Like, you go there to win.
I know, man, but there was an article about, are they ruining baseball? And, it's almost to the point where they are. I hate to say it. I know there's really no restrictions, but it's just, every single player signs with them. It's crazy. And I get it. They want to win, and it's a great place to go. I'm, good coach, and, you're in LA and all that stuff. But man, that is just holy shit. Who else would they sign? They have to have every position. They got like an all-star at every position. Who do they have
at third base?
Well, I think their third baseman actually signed. Wasn't it Lux last year? Maybe
Gavin Lux got moved.
He got moved. Yeah, he's moved.
On the Reds now.
Maybe they'll sign Bregman.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they're talking about being aggressive,
it's like they're not aggressive. Does that assume that they haven't been aggressive? It's ridiculous.
No, they have been. They want to be more aggressive.
It's gross, man.
They want to stay aggressive. They said.
People talk about
is Max Muncy.
Muncy. But they talk about hating the Yankees. They're going to be a hated team with all the shit they do.
They already are. They already are.
It's gross, man.
But Max Muncy is a downgrade from Bregman if you are willing to give the money.
He is. He would be a downgrade. He had a couple good years, but he's average over there. I don't know, man. I don't like it.
So right now they have Freddie Freeman at first. Mookie is playing second. Muncy at third. Miguel Rojas right now is their shortstop, right? Because they just got rid of Gavin Lux. They could move Mookie Betts over there.
Yeah.
Left field, Teoscar Hernandez still there. You've got James Outman. You've got Jason Hayward, and you've got Ohtani. There are places you theoretically can upgrade, right? Hayward's not. You can get rid of him.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't hit. He's a good defensively, but he's not a hitter. I don't know, man. It's gross watching every single guy that comes up. It's like when you look at teams that are in the running, Dodgers.
But you have to give their front office credit. They're making it those moves, right? That's the MLB needs to step in if they're worried about that. If the Dodgers are doing what every baseball fan was worried about happening, they're willing to take on all that luxury tax money to keep winning.
They are, and
they are paying.
They are paying, and they won the World Series last year. Let's see what happens this year. They just they spend a lot more money again. They got a huge payroll. The thing with MLB that I like is it's a long season and guys get hurt. And you know what? It's not like football where it's 16 games or 17 games, and that's 162 games. And when guys are out, they're going to lose. So we'll see what happens this year. But they're aggressive. They pay a lot of money, and
their bullpen's amazing.
I mean,
their rotation's going to be amazing. No one's going to be able to hit the ball against them.
Yeah, they're going to be tough out there. I don't know.
And Ohtani's back on the mound this year.
He is back on the mound.
Jesus Christ!
They're going to be tough, man. They're always in the run. They're always in the playoffs, and they're always in the running.
Are.
So
they are. I worry that this is the year. I worry that this is the year we see it. Like, no other team has done. The Yankees have spent a lot of money over the years, but they've never built a team like this.
No, but not like this. They spent a lot of money on a couple guys. Not like every. They're not in the running for literally every single top end guy ever. It's crazy.
You could maybe look back pre-live ball era and see some teams that were totally stacked because they're going out in the hills to find these guys. But that was more like recruiting and scouting and stuff, right? So like way back before live ball, dead ball era, like, yes, the Dodgers were powerhouses every year. The Yankees, when they first came around, were powerhouses every year. But that's only because they scouted those guys. It wasn't like trades and stuff or signing
Yeah.
huge contracts. The Dodgers are literally just saying, you know what? We'll get more investors. We'll take on that luxury tax. We will pay $1 billion for this roster if we have to, but we're going to keep winning.
Yeah. And that, I mean, I like to say I don't think it's right, but I don't think MLB can actually step in either, because then it affects everybody else. And that's not fair either. And it would just, I don't know, man. The one good thing about baseball is these guys tend to stay if they get signed for 2 or 3 years. In some of their contracts, when you see 3 years and then you really look at the contract, it's like a year and then there's an option. And so they're always a little bit different. But I'm just telling you, injuries can kill even that team during the season.
Yeah, that's why baseball, it's such a long season that it's like you're buying a 40% chance to make it to the World Series.
I agree.
In football, you can buy players. Like, if there was no salary cap, you could build a team that would never lose.
You could build a team that you're right. And I think basketball may or may not be. Yeah, maybe the same. It's a little, those guys tend to get hurt. It honestly seems like they're hurt all the time now too. But baseball's different. I think it's just a different sport. So they can get all those guys, and they all have to perform for 162 games, and they got to stay healthy. And they're not going to run away with anything, but it's a good chance they're going to win the division. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I forgot they picked up Hae-Sung Kim this year as well.
That's what I mean. They get most of those guys. I mean, man. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, the last baseball thing for you. They had the Bally Sports thing with the TV deals and everything. Did you see what the Rangers are doing?
No.
They are creating their own network so they can air the games.
Wow.
To the local sports stuff. Now, I don't know how that'll affect like the MLB package. If people have that, I don't know if it's like collectively bargained in yet or not, but they are creating, whereas it say, Rangers to create TV network to produce and air their games.
Wow. Okay.
So I think this is just in direct correlations to Bally Sports shitting the bed. And like all these markets are out this year, which is going to be pretty crazy. That's
interesting. I know, like in the old days, WGN was always the Cubs. They were the Cubs net, and obviously they did other stuff too, but all their games were on WGN at the time. So I don't know, it'd be interesting. If I would, obviously we have the MLB package, watch it, but I don't think MLB would let them opt out of that, because I think that's an MLB income stream on the network that they have.
Yeah, you would think that there would be a tie-in between the MLB, because the MLB floated the Diamond Entertainment Group, or whoever it was, Diamond Sports Group, that runs all of Bally. They floated them a little bit last year because they missed payments to a bunch of teams.
Yeah.
So you can't think that they're going to be able to. I mean, I think Fox saw the writing on the wall and offloaded that part of Fox Sports to these guys, and now they're kind of in a bad situation.
Yeah, I think it might be like the Yankees have the Yes Network. It might be something similar to that, where they only show, the Yankees obviously, but they show New York sports. I would assume these guys, it would be the Rangers and maybe the hockey team and eventually just the Dallas teams.
It won't be the Cowboys.
No, it wouldn't be the Cowboys. No, it wouldn't be. It would not be the Cowboys. Obviously, it's a whole different game there. But and that the Yes Network too doesn't. It's not a football. They show. I think they show soccer, and they may or may not show the NBA. I don't. They don't show. Their main thing is the Yankees, and then some of the lower tier sports. So could be like that.
So we'll see. I think that's going to be like a model for all these teams, though. I think we're going to see a move away. I think this is the first domino, right?
Yeah.
Because they keep getting stuck in these contracts with these bigger TV media corporations that can't pay them. And they had to sit there, like a lot of these teams had to sit there and wait for like a year's worth of missed payments to come through to even get out of the deal.
That's ridiculous.
Which was really crazy. So I think we're going to start seeing the owners kind of create their own things in each market, which sucks for a team like Tampa.
It does.
Such a small market. There's going to be no revenue. So how does revenue sharing work? And
well, I don't think it does if they do that. I mean, it's
right.
they would have to still be part of the MLB network to somehow. So,
yeah, I'm sure the MLB won't let them run away.
No, God, no. They're not going to lose money ever.
That commissioner will not let a dime walk out that door.
I agree. Cool. All right.
All right, Bunk. Well, that is what I got. Baseballs, we'll see. I think this week we're seeing pitchers and catchers. Next week we'll start to see games, simulation games, and we'll be into spring training here real soon.
And hopefully we'll start to see some of these guys that are outstanding start signing here before too long.
I think it's going to take a long time for some of these guys.
I think so too, but they only hurt themselves at that point. But they do what they do. All right.
Yeah.
All right, sir. I like it.
All right, Bunk. Well, if everybody enjoyed this, please go ahead and give us a rating on whatever podcast platform you listen to it, or soon to be YouTube. If you want to watch it there, you'll see our faces. My hideous face, Bunk's beautiful face.
My beautiful face, and my luscious head of hair.
Yes, so many one hair. My luscious head of one hair. But check us out on social media. There will probably be a video of me getting burned by Bunk on a post route.
I will have that. I'm going to get that edited up, friends.
But if nothing else, Bunk, what are we doing?
We're going to be Palline Rotolante. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Recording stopped.